Arizona State Sun Devils are crucial crossroads in the 2025-26 men's basketball season. Buckle up, basketball fans. The Arizona State Sun Devils are facing a pivotal moment in their 2025-26 campaign, with head coach Bobby Hurley's future hanging in the balance. Fresh off a 13-win year and entering his second season in the Big 12 Conference, Hurley is navigating a roster overhaul that could either propel the team to new heights or signal the end of his tenure. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this rebuild a stroke of genius or a gamble too far? Let's dive into the details and see what the upcoming season might hold, while uncovering the elements that could spark debate among fans and analysts alike. Arizona State Sun Devils Overview. Heading into their 2025-26 season, the Arizona State Sun Devils, often called ASU for short, are gearing up for what feels like a defining chapter. After wrapping up the 2024-25 campaign with a record of 13 wins and 20 losses, including a modest 4-16 mark in Big 12 play that landed them in 15th place, the team exited the conference tournament in the first round. They also suffered a first-round defeat to Nebraska in the college basketball crown event held in Las Vegas. For newcomers to college hoops, it's worth noting that the Big 12 is one of the top conferences in NCAA Division I basketball, featuring powerhouse programs that demand elite performance. Think intense rivalries and high-stakes games that can make or break a season. At the helm for his 11th season is Bobby Hurley, a former standout at Duke University. His career tally stands at 168 wins and 151 losses, specifically with ASU, and 210 to 171 overall, including 2 years coaching at Buffalo. Hurley, a legendary figure in basketball circles, is known for his strategic mind and ability to develop talent. But this year, the spotlight is brighter than ever. A quick look at Big 12 heritage. Arizona State kicked off their Big 12 journey just last season. Prior to that, the program was a stalwart of the Pac-12 Conference, a group known for its competitive balance and historical significance in West Coast athletics. During their Pac-12 days, ASU achieved some remarkable milestones, including 3 trips to the NCAA tournament's Elite Eight, the pinnacle of the college basketball postseason. The most recent of those came way back in 1975, showcasing the program's potential when everything clicks. This background adds intrigue. Can Hurley recapture that glory in the tougher Big 12 environment? 2025-26 schedule snapshot. To get the full scoop on Arizona State's upcoming games, check out the official Big 12 men's basketball schedule right here. https://big12sports.com/calendar. ASPX Path MB-BAL. This schedule will feature a mix of conference matchups against teams like Nebraska, along with non-conference opponents that could reveal early strengths and weaknesses. Deep dive into the 2025-26 roster. The offseason brought significant changes, with a near-total roster turnover that has everyone buzzing. Departed players include key contributors like Alston Mason, averaging 13.8 points per game, or PPG. B.J. Freeman, 13.7 PPG. Bashir Jihad, 12.7 PPG. Josen Sanin, 11.9 PPG. Adam Miller, 9.8 PPG. Jaden Quaintance, 9.4 PPG. Amir Ali, 5.5 PPG. Sean Phillips Jr., 5.4 PPG. Austin Nunez, 2.0 PPG, Brandon Gardner, and Bryson Long. For beginners, PPG simply means the average number of points a player scores in each game, giving a quick gauge of their offensive impact. On the flip side, returning players are limited but promising. Guards Trevor Best, 3.6 PPG from last season, and Quentin McCoy, who was part of ASU previously. Fresh talent is flooding in through transfers. Guard Adante Holiman, 16.9 PPG from Georgia Southern. Forward Marcus Adams Jr., 16.1 PPG from Cal State Northridge. Forward Alan Mukeba, 14.6 PPG from Oakland. Guard Maurice Odum, 13.1 PPG from Pepperdine. Forward Santiago Trué, 8.7 PPG from San Diego. Guard Bryce Ford, 7.1 PPG from Toledo. Guard forward VJ Wallace, from a junior college or JUCO program. Guard Anthony Johnson, also JUCO, and guard Noah Musin, an international recruit. To clarify, mid-major schools like Georgia Southern or Pepperdine are typically not in the Big Six power conferences, such as Big 12 or ACC, but they produce skilled players who can thrive when given opportunities at higher levels. Think of it as upgrading from a solid team to an elite league. Incoming freshmen add even more excitement. Forward Cash Polk, a 3-star recruit, meaning highly rated by recruiting services. Forward Andrea Gerbovic, international. Center Masamba Diop, international. Forward Jovan Ichitovic, international. And center Dame Selene. These young international prospects bring diverse skill sets and could inject fresh energy into the squad. Projected starting 5 based on early assessments. Here's how the lineup might shake out. Guard Maurice Odum. Last season with Pepperdine, he averaged a solid 13.1 ppg, establishing him as a reliable scoring option right from the jump. Imagine a player who can create his own shot and keep defenses on their toes. Guard Adante Holiman. Known as a dynamic scorer in mid-major play, Holiman should contribute immediately, potentially elevating the team's offensive output. For example, players like him often excel by drawing defenders and creating opportunities for teammates. Guard Bryce Ford. With a knack for shooting, hitting 38% from beyond the three-point arc, Ford could be a game-changer for the Sun Devils' perimeter game. In simpler terms, that's about 38% of his long-range attempts going in, which is impressive and could stretch opposing defenses. Forward Marcus Adams Jr. Hurley didn't bring Adams into the Big 12 just to warm the bench. As a former BYU standout who transferred to Cal State Northridge and dazzled there, Adams is poised for a big role. However, an injury means he won't start practicing until late October, which might postpone his debut in the starting unit. This delay could be pivotal. Does it hinder the team's early rhythm, or will it build anticipation for his explosive return? Forward Santiago Troué, positioned to lead the team in rebounds. Troué offers defensive stability and board control, crucial for sustained possessions in tough games. Potential lineup disruptors. Guard Trevor Best stands out as one of the few veterans from last season. Expect him to show growth from his previous campaign and seize ample playing time in this fluid setup, perhaps evolving into a key contributor. Navigating lineup dynamics. This season's lineup promises to be highly adaptable, with Hurley skillfully adding numerous scoring threats, albeit primarily from mid-major backgrounds. On the positive side, this influx of hungry talent could ignite the team, as players from lesser-known programs often rise to the occasion when elevated to bigger stages. To illustrate, think of past success stories like players who dominated in smaller conferences before shining in the NCAA tournament. But here's the part most people miss. Out of all the newcomers, only Marcus Adams Jr. seems like a surefire starter, a lead pipe lock, as they say in sports parlance. His experience from BYU and CSUN means he's familiar with Big 12 intensity, which could be a massive advantage. For the rest, including the holdovers, the jury is still out, and Adams's recovery from injury will be a major storyline. This raises a controversial point. Is Hurley betting heavily on unproven talent, or is this the strategic pivot needed to rebuild? Fans might debate whether mid-major transfers can truly compete in the Big 12, where physicality and depth are paramount. Early season outlook. Arizona State hasn't cracked a 500 record, more wins than losses, in the last 2 years, with 2024-25 being particularly tough despite recruiting a top talent in Jaden Quentin, who unfortunately tore his ACL late in the season and transferred to Kentucky. This 2025-26 campaign feels like make-or-break territory for Hurley, whose contract is up and wasn't extended during the offseason. Realistically, hitting 500 in conference play seems unlikely, making non-conference games a vital litmus test for the team's direction. And this is where opinions diverge. Can a roster full of mid-major firepower realistically challenge for a top 8 finish in the Big 12, or is that a pipe dream? Subtly, one might argue that Hurley's legacy, built on Duke pedigree and past ASU highs, could be tarnished if this rebuild flops, sparking debates about whether coaches should gamble on such extensive changes. What do you think? Will Bobby Hurley steer the Sun Devils to redemption, or is this the end of his ASU chapter? Do you believe mid-major transfers can dominate in the Big 12, or is experience key? Share your takes, agreements, or disagreements in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective and fuel the conversation.